Okay, so first of all, thank you for doing this interview. Let's start a little bit with last season's success. After an incredible first year in Zalgiris, you decided to sign a contract extension until 2020. What prompted you to make that move?
My whole career overseas has been, short-term contracts. Just 1 year and see what happens after that. So, for them to reach out and to want me back, it was for me. It was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. The feeling was mutual for me wanting to be there and for them to want me to come back. So I felt like it was the best scenario for me at that point in time.
How do you enjoy living in Kaunas? Do you like it?
Yeah, I love it. It reminds me a lot of my hometown in Utah. So, the weather is kind of similar. It does get a little colder there in Kaunas, but I love it there. My family loves it, and the people there are great.
And over the years, you've played for 6 different teams in your career, but the relationship you have with Zalgiris' fans seems to be special. Can you talk a little bit about your relationship with the organization, and coming from the States, have you ever witnessed a fan base that's so passionate about their team?
First off, the organization and of Zalgiris is top notch. You don't really see anything that's as organized or as complete for what a player needs for their career and everything from top to bottom. As far as the facilities and coaching staff, organization, everything is transparent, so you know exactly what you're getting. So, it's been great to be a part of that, and on top of all that, you have a great fan base who support you no matter what, and you really feel the love that they have and passion for their team, and they make you feel like you're part of their family as well, and that's something that's really special.
Mm-hmm. Besides the Zalgiris arena, which arena do you think is the toughest to play at in Europe?
I don't know. Ours definitely gets the loudest, I think, and we definitely have a really good home court. But Fenerbahce, they have a lot of really good fans as well. It's really loud in there. There's the team here in Greece, Olympiakos and Panathinaikos. Their fans are really passionate and get rowdy as well. So, but those are teams that have been around for a long time and have a fan base that dates back to years and years before I was even born. So, there's a lot of good places like that.
Can you talk a little bit about your coach, Arnos Jasikevičius? What is it like playing for him, and what influence does he have on his players?
He's a great coach. He's not afraid to tell you what he wants from you, and I've definitely learned a lot from him throughout the years. My first year was kind of it's a new learning curve for me, and had to figure some things out along the way. But this second year, and kind of knowing what to expect from him, and just trying to be coachable, trying to utilize the things that he's taught me, the little things here and there, is I think is a big part of how my season has been going.
Do you think the next step for his career should be the NBA, given the fact that NBA teams have expressed their interest in signing him?
He's a great coach. Wherever he goes, I think he'll find a way to be successful. That's just the type of person he is. But I think it'll be really hard for him to leave. Kaunas, this is his hometown. He has 100% support from everyone around him. So to me, it's definitely a hard thing to leave, and a hard thing to walk away from the support that he gets.
Let's talk a little bit about you and your impressive level of play the last couple of years. There is obviously many EuroLeague teams are interested in signing you. Do you think about the future at all, signing for a EuroLeague powerhouse? Would you like to stay in Europe for years to come? What's on your mind?
Right now, I try to get better every single year. I try to, personally make sure that I'm bringing everything I can to the table, and trying to help my team be successful wherever that is. And as far as the future goes, all I can control is how I'm playing now and things that are happening right before me. And I know that things will work out. At the end. I try not to look too much into it. That's what I have an agent for. I trust him, and he'll put me in the best situations that I need to be in, and we'll relay the options in the summer and go from there. But during the season, my main focus is just getting better and doing everything I can to help my team get wins.
And you've obviously played in the NBA as well, and you've started your career there. Now that you're entering your prime, do you ever think of going back to the NBA and pursuing that dream?
That's always going to be a goal. It was a dream and a bar that I set, very high for myself, and to make it there and be able to play at that level against those amount of the top players in the world was a great accomplishment. And but right now my focus is trying to be one of those top players over here in Europe and finding ways to dominate. And by doing that, I think that the NBA will be there after that. So it's a process, and that, in my mind, that's just the next step. Obviously I'm gonna try and get back there. And keep that as a a goal of mine. And but at the same time, whatever happens is the path that I need to take.
Luka Doncic recently said that it's easier to score in the NBA than in Europe. Given the fact that you've played in both competitions, what's your take on that?
That's hard to say. A lot of that depends on your role on the team. There's a lot. Obviously, if you're a guy who's going to have the ball in his hands a lot, and in the NBA, there's a lot of spacing. There's a lot of the key opens up a little more, and there's a lot of personal assignments and personal agendas as well that go on in the NBA. But overseas, it's hard to get in the paint. It's hard to score, in the paint.
The rules are also different.
Yeah, exactly. So it's hard to say. There's a lot of different things that factor into that. But for a guy of his caliber and a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys who can play in the NBA who wouldn't be as successful overseas.
Yeah. Except the scoring, what are the general differences between the competitions?
I think there's a lot. In every position, you're going to get an athlete who's bigger, faster, and stronger. There's definitely a lot of great athletes here in Euroleague, but from the point guard to the center, there's guys who are freak athletes who can touch the top of the backboard, or no matter how tall they are, they're all extreme. The athleticism is something that I think is what sets it apart.
And finally, this year's EuroLeague competition has been super competitive, a total chaos to say the least. What's your prediction for the Final Four, if you had to choose 4 teams right now?
We're still in the mix. I'm not giving up on our team. Obviously some things have to go well for us, but
a Cinderella story, March Madness also.
Yeah, I think we've proven that it's possible. Last year everyone counted us out as well, and we made it there. We made it to the Final Four, and maybe the people that were doing this interview last year when they were predicting their Final Four, we weren't in that. So you can't really count anybody out, and this, like you said, it's very competitive. And as we're fighting to reach the playoffs, that's our first step for us. But I'm not counting us out until someone tells us it's impossible.
Well, good luck for the rest of the season, and thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.